Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the podcast. And we have a fan favorite back. Igor is here. He's now diving into NFL NFTs. He was recently, big into NBA, and this was coming. It's now here. And Igor, tell us all about it. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me back, Dalibor and Andrew. Love to be back. Yeah. Recently, 3 weeks ago, I believe, I started to dive into the NFL NFTs because once again, my friend Dushan from Toronto told me about it. So far, it's just I think it's the most basic beta version they have, but I've bought 3 packs already. Moments are okay, nothing special, but he the other day decided to go into the new packs, which were the Super Bowl ones. And to his luck, he pulled a serial number 28 Odell Beckham Jr. touchdown, which is going to be worth quite a bit. He was laughing about it. I'm happy for him. It's worth a lot more than the 9 moments I have combined. So,
Oh,
but
wow.
mine are just normal, common moments. His is good. His is good. But hey, it's the luck of the draw, and we'll see what keeps happening because their marketplace opens in a few days. It's not open yet for people to just buy and sell. You can only buy packs at the moment.
What do you suspect it'll be worth? You have to take a guess.
A number 28 Odell Beckham Jr. touchdown. If he retires due to his knee injuries, we'll say that one's probably going to be worth 4 figures. I don't know. Could be worth $1,000 or more. Even if he doesn't, several $100s. It's very low. It's a Super Bowl moment, and it could be his only ever Super Bowl win. So we'll see.
That's fantastic. So since you're in NBA NFTs, how does it differ from NFL? Is there any quirks or are they basically the same?
Well, besides the I guess look on the outside of the packs, they do run very, very similarly in a very similar fashion. They both use a Dapper account. So the Dapper account you have for NBA, you can use it for NFL. And the same thing for when the UFC does their version of it. So I think it's run on the same network, obviously, in terms of Dapper, but very similar, super easy to use.
That's great. So is there any special Super Bowl, like we recently just had the Super Bowl, right? So is there any like moments that they released from that? I think if you can get one hands on one of those will be super valuable.
Yeah. So they had 2 packs. One was $50. That's where my friend Dushan got his moment. And yesterday they had a pack they were selling for $250, where you get, I think it was 9 moments, and you were guaranteed at least one rare from the Super Bowl playoffs to the Super Bowl. Some people they ended up getting very lucky. I didn't go into it because I didn't want to risk it. But a lot of people ended up getting very lucky. So good for them. We'll see what those are worth. Probably a lot. Just like any other trading card would be worth, right?
So what's your strategy when you buy these packs, right? So obviously, like, when you purchase a pack, there's certain cards you get. How many packs would you say you need to purchase before you start making a return? You can't just buy one pack and probably make a profit. Probably not going to get anything useful.
True.
So what's your strategy around that?
Right now, because it is new, my strategy has been okay. Buy some of the early packs, 3 to 5. In terms of moments, you'll probably get something that isn't worth much, but you are guaranteed to make something as time goes on, because these are very new. Collectors will want them. Your score, just like in NBA, the more moments you have, the higher your score is. So my strategy right now is to get my hands on as many early series moments as possible, without of course breaking the bank, because I don't want to pay $250 if I'm going to get trash. So for now, it's just that.
So the marketplace opens up next week, you said, right?
Yes. The NFL NFT marketplace isn't open yet. The only thing you could do is join a pack drop from now.
Awesome. So do you want to describe your collection, what you have so far in there? Or if you want to
Sure.
share it, I think that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. All right. I'm going to put the phone closer here. So right now I have, if you could see, Aaron Donald is okay. The serial numbers are decent, nothing great. Who's this? Oh no. One second. I accidentally went back a page. I'll be back in 5 seconds. Here we go. We have Aaron Donald. We have this moment. Now, most of my serial numbers are above 1,000, except for I believe one, which is all right. But I'll see how much it's worth when the marketplace opens, because it is more of a free market scenario. The market does determine the value. Us knowing, of course, if something's a rare or a legendary, it's going to be worth a lot. But 1,078. This one is serial number 964. That's the lowest serial number I have so far. In terms of players, he's good, nothing special, but that's about it for my collection. I only have 9 moments. I think I have 2 repeats of the same one. So that's what I have so far. And yeah, the Devontae Smith, not bad. Garoppolo is okay. Diggs is okay. That's what I got so far. I wasn't lucky like my buddy.
How many packs did you open to get all that stuff?
3.
3.
Yep, 3 packs. What they did initially is 3 moments per pack. You had less than a 1% chance in these of getting a legendary moment, and clearly I didn't.
Okay. You only opened up 3 packs. Do you think you'll make your money back on these packs if you wanted to?
Yeah, I think so. I think with the packs were, was it like $25 for the beginning ones, I think. So I think I can make my money back, no problem. Perhaps even more. But we'll find out, right?
Absolutely. Awesome. So basically the same thing, right? They're just putting NFL players instead of NBA. That's basically the only change you've seen so far, right?
Yeah, that is the only change I've seen so far. And I suppose the way they're gonna distribute moments, because in the NBA, what they do is it's harder to get rare or legendary moments, and that's causing a saturation in the marketplace because everybody's starting to list common moments for $2 or $3. And what I've noticed is it doesn't seem as fun sometimes, but because the NBA has so many saturated common moments, everything's worth $2 or $3. That doesn't really do much for collectors or people who want to make a good flip. So what the NFL started doing is, these days you're more so than not guaranteed to possibly get at least a rare moment in these packs. Whereas in the NBA, some packs are simply common moments where if you spend $20, you might not get that back.
Interesting. So do you think the NFL is just doing this to entice people to start, or do you think it's going to stay like this? Because if they keep giving rare moments constantly, that's going to dilute the value of them, right?
Yeah, exactly. The NFL is trying to entice people to go into this, as far as I'm concerned. If you had the chance of getting something valuable, of course you're going to go into it. The NFL is going to make more money. The trader community is going to grow. And we're going to see more people go over from the NBA to the NFL if the NBA simply keeps giving out common moments where you can't really make much money.
So another question, since like the NFL is basically contained within the North America as in terms of popularity, do you foresee that, NBA is just always going to be worth more because it has the global appeal versus like football that might just have, an American Canadian appeal?
That's a good perspective. I do think that the NBA, in terms of certain moments, will always have a larger appeal. You pull a LeBron James #1, you're set. The NFL is more so North American, so if you do get something more rare, congratulations. However, I think as time goes by and the NFL marketplace grows, it can be more favorable to traders because you can get something better in terms of moments, in terms of rarity.
So if you wanted to, like, let's say, buy a bunch of moments in NFL, you're banking on, hey, I hope this grows across, to Europe, to other marketplaces, so I can potentially make the money. So it's more of a risk versus the NBA, which is already proven, right? It's already accepted internationally.
Right, right. Sorry, something kept popping up on the screen, but you're correct. I would consider now NBA Top Shot to be slightly more of a risk compared to the NFL. Even though early NFL packs may cost more, we need to remember that this is the starting beta version, just like now the UFC is doing. So when the marketplace opens, these will be considered series 1 or initial series. So a few years down the line, there'll be good collectibles. So I think the NFL moments are a less of a risk.
So you mentioned UFC. Well, did UFC also start, or are they in the process of doing that?
The UFC did start. Let's pull this up right now. They call theirs UFC Strike, of course.
What's the NBA one called? I mean, the NFL one called.
The NFL one is called, let me just check. NFL All Day.
Okay, there we go. NFL All Day and UFC Strike, right? They're pretty good names.
Right. So what the UFC did, and this is cool for collectors in a way, when they released their first 2 packs, they didn't randomize the rare and legendary moments correctly. So some people ended up buying 3 packs, getting 3 legendary moments, which is statistically near impossible. So what the UFC did is they ended up airdropping people 1 or 2 moments for free, which you could sell. So I bought 2 packs, didn't really get anything except for 1 Derek Lewis, that's good, and 1 Alexander Rakic. I decided to keep those because they could be champs, but I ended up having 8 moments in total. I've sold 4 of them already. They opened up their market a few days ago. So I'm happy about that. Again, this is the initial beta version, so they consider it Series 0, just like the NFL. It started around the same time. So some of these I'm going to keep for a long time. We'll see what happens, because I believe I can flip them for a solid profit down the line.
And is there any differences between the UFC and NBA or the NFL that you found?
In terms of marketplace, the UFC marketplace, it's not built well. In terms of NBA Top Shot, you could search based on series, based on athlete, and so on and so forth. It allows you to narrow down your search. UFC, the marketplace is very new, so it's very bare bones at the moment. Probably because there isn't much to go off of right now. I think obviously as time passes, they'll update it.
Awesome. And how's the pricing compare? Because this UFC is out. How's it compared to the NBA? Is it significantly more, significantly less?
When it comes to common moments, you do get more, in my opinion. So I sold 4 common moments. My biggest sale was $30 on something that I paid very little for in terms of the pack.
How much was the pack?
I think the pack was $19, $19, 20 bucks.
So 50% return from 1 pack.
Yeah, exactly. So the moment I sold for $30 was, I can't remember his name. He's not even a top 15. He could be ranked number 15 now. Oh, Alessio Di Chirico. It was a number 286 out of like 20,000. And I sold him for $30. So right then and there, I made my money back from 1 pack plus $10. And the 3 other ones I sold for like $10, $11, and $12. And they were low serial numbers from athletes who weren't even in the top 15. So it tells me that initially common moments will sell more here because they're newer.
That's awesome. So would you say that so if someone's new into this NFT trading card, for sports trading cards,
right,
it's probably makes sense then to go to UFC right now, right? Because those common moments allow you to, buy more packs going down, right? Versus the NBA, which is more of a gamble, like you said.
Yeah. The cool thing between the 3 that I've noticed so far is When NBA does a pack drop, they'll tell you if there's anything special about it or what your chances are of getting rare or legendaries in it and what series it is. That's cool. NFL will tell you what the best moment you can get in the series pack drop is, which again is very cool. The UFC, again, they don't really tell you too much other than you just have to trust that eventually things will get better. And I do compare the way the UFC is working, this one, to how Top Shot started, because my buddy Dusan started Top Shot well over 2 years ago, and he said it like initially the marketplace wasn't very good or how they dropped it, but it kept getting better. So it's very fun. You know, that's the cool thing about it. It's very fun and you can make money. And, you know, if you're on the go, you join a waiting room, let's say at 3 p.m., the market opens at 4. You could do whatever you want, go about your day, so on and so forth, and come back to the drop afterwards. So it allows you to go about your day. You don't have to stare at your phone the entire time.
Amazing. Is there any like other sports that are coming up, like hockey or anything else?
They should. For example, you know, hockey would be great. NHL, perhaps even Olympic hockey. I think that would be very cool. I think FIFA should do it. The World Cup is this year. And as you and I know, as all of us know, making money from collectibles is huge. If FIFA doesn't end up doing it for the World Cup, I'd be surprised. I'd also be surprised if we don't see MLB do it. And baseball's giant. So I'd like to see that, even though I don't watch baseball ever, except for maybe the last game of a World Series. I'd participate just to see how it works.
If FIFA does something, let me know, Igor. We can
Ooh.
figure out a partnership to do here.
100%, 100%. It's funny. FIFA's having a lottery for World Cup tickets. I entered already. We'll see what happens. That would be great. But I'd like for them to do this. Like, you know, imagine just a run-of-the-mill guy, just out of university or college. You know, you're making a decent living. You choose to invest into this, and you pull someone like Harry Kane,
and he becomes a top goal scorer in the tournament. Bingo! Right. There you go.
Right, you pull someone like Harry Kane, and even if England don't do well, I mean, they're gonna do well. It's Harry Kane. You're gonna make some money off of that, right? Good for you. Plus, you know, FIFA, you know, soccer. It's the world's biggest sport. Why not, right? And if NBA and NFL and UFC, they're seeing, you know, in terms of trading volume, tens of millions of dollars all the time, I can only imagine how big something like FIFA would be.
Yeah, I think if they did it in soccer, it would blow up. That's like the biggest market. So the fact that it still doesn't exist, look at what's going on with the NBA. Get on it, you know.
No, exactly. So, like, because when EA or PES, they release like, you know, FIFA games or this or that, they allow people to buy and sell packs and trade packs online. I mean, sure, they kind of got screwed for it in parts of the EU because they called it gambling because they allowed kids to gamble, but the market was huge for that. So why wouldn't they do this?
That's exactly the point. It's basically, it allows them to escape those issues, right? Because right now with FIFA Ultimate Team, when kids are playing these games, it could be considered gambling, and it is by some jurisdictions.
I think it was in the Netherlands, because my buddy Nenad, he was huge into FIFA, and they kept talking about how the way the market worked, it was rotten, and they ended up getting screwed because they essentially pushed gambling onto 12, 13-year-olds. You can't be doing that. It's like pushing cigarette brands in schools on kids. You can't be doing that.
And that's the problem, right? So if they go this trading card route, they avoid this entirely because, hey, we know you don't know what you're going to get. And it is a trading card. There is no game value, right? You're just collecting stuff.
Right, exactly. And so how the NBA and the NFL and now the UFC do it. They do it through your Dapper wallet, right? So it's not like a 13-year-old kid gets a hold of his mom's or dad's credit card and puts in the info on his PS5 right then and there without them knowing. No, that's that's enticing gambling. You can't be doing that. This is more legitimate. So I do respect that kind of practice. I mean, nobody out there should grab a credit card and blow $5,000, throw it onto their account for maybe getting a pack. That's no. Be smart about it.
Yeah. And picture this, and if they did in soccer, imagine getting a Ronaldo or Messi right now because they're close to retirement, right? That's like the perfect investment.
First of all, that's gonna hurt me really bad. I have like 3 Ronaldo jerseys in my closet right now. I have a Messi poster next to me. Yeah, if you pull one of those, consider it a gift, a treasure.
Don't sell it for a couple of years, definitely.
No. Keep that. Let it grow in value because listen, whether you like Ronaldo or Messi more, doesn't matter. The GOAT is the GOAT. That's it. It's like somebody saying, "Oh, in 30 years' time, a Michael Jordan signed rookie card won't be worth anything." Oh, okay, yeah, no problem.
Say that about Babe Ruth. Look at his stuff; it's worth crazy amounts right now, and it's almost been like 80 years since he played, maybe more.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like somebody saying, "Oh, Kobe Bryant's 2009, year won't be worth much if it was a trading card." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure, no problem."
Are you kidding me? You don't know what can happen.
Yeah, it's like somebody saying, "Oh, this tea set from the 1800s is worthless." Okay, that's part of culture. Culture is always worth something good. You can't be, and that's the way I look at it. I look at it as culture because sport does, it does create culture. It allows everyone to go into it because it is for everyone. And that kind of culture in terms of sport and like art, it transcends boundaries, whether you live in Canada or any other nation. It's valuable.
Absolutely, especially when you have an emotional attachment to it, right? Imagine like me and you, we grew up with Ronaldo and Messi being great superstars, right?
Right.
When we get older, we're still going to have that attachment to them because we watched them when we were kids, right? So that doesn't change.
Exactly. So what the NFL did is like in their pack drops, they had Brett Favre moments. And I believe now he's retired. He's like 40 something years old. You pull one of those moments, and I believe his moments some of them were legendary. That's valuable. That's in terms of culture, it's huge for American culture and just sport on its own. So like you said, 10, 20, 30 years down the line, you have that possession. Hey, you know what? I've seen crazier things. People trade a moment for a car or something like that. It sounds weird, but I get it. Culture has value.
Absolutely. So Andrew, what's your input on this? You've been awfully quiet.
Yeah, so I'm not a big sports guy, so I don't really have a lot to contribute, but I do understand, I guess the value of playing cards that have especially sentimental value. So I'm waiting myself for Pokemon cards. I'll be investing, or not Pokemon cards, but Pokemon card NFTs. So if those come out, for sure I'll be getting some of those because I used to have a lot of those as a kid. You ever did you ever play a game Pogs as a kid?
Yeah.
This was before my time. I know nothing about this.
Yeah, so there's always like a new iteration of that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, Pokemon was for my generation. I imagine for many of yours as well, because Pokemon's been around for so long.
Pokemon was sick. I remember even Pogs. We were in grade school, and there'd always be a few kids who bring the newest Pogs, and you're like, "Oh, this is cool," right? And everybody thought it was just a little kids game, but 20 years down the line,
Well, think about this is what I always talk about is I was huge into Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid.
Same.
And I had and I had a first edition Blue Eyes White Dragon. But here's the thing. My mom threw it out. Dun, 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 dun. So, and that was over 10 years ago, right?
Right.
So if I kept it now, I would have made at least 10, 20 grand off of that card, even though it was in a little bit rougher condition. But that's my point. Culture doesn't die, right?
That's correct.
Sure. You have to look at the long term, right? For example, when you're a kid, right, playing with this stuff, you don't think about it. But when you're an adult, once you become 30 years old, you kind of like want to reminisce about when you were a kid, you want to enjoy this stuff now. And this is why it's important to look at this with an investment mindset where, hey, right now might not be worth a lot, but in 10, 20 years, this $10 card could be $100,000. Look what happened with Charizards too, right? They're hundreds of
Right.
thousands of dollars, first edition. So
Yeah, you're correct. And that's what it is, it's the love of the game. It's like we said, the culture of it. And going back, Pokemon cards, you have a moment, I don't know, a Pokemon card from 2001. They're making a few grand. You got a Yu-Gi-Oh card from 2005. You're making a few grand. People who have NBA, UFC, and NFL NFT moments now from how they do this. You pull something good, you're going to make some money. And, the more valuable a moment or a player is or a card, the more it's going to be worth as time passes, especially if something is discontinued. I'm happy about it. And like Andrew mentioned, Pogs and Pokemon cards when we were younger, they were huge, huge. And I'm sorry that your mom threw out your Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's painful.
do you have any of the originals still?
We do. My friends and I, we ended up keeping a bunch of cards, and we keep them in binders. My friend Dan has a bunch of them. I do have a Blue Eyes Toon Dragon somewhere.
Is it first edition? That's worth money too now.
I did get it in like when it first came out, luck of the draw. I know it's in one of these drawers. It's in decently good condition, so we'll find out.
If when you have some time, open up that booklet. I think you'll be surprised at how some of these sell for. If you
Yeah.
need.
Exactly. Oh man. But yeah, like I said, it's actually crazy that this stuff gets as far as it does. Because at first, at face value, you're like, oh, that's just cool. There's like, what's the tangible value to this?
Well, if we're being honest, there isn't any tangible value. It's all emotional, right? And cultural value.
Right, exactly. Like somebody looks at a Yu-Gi-Oh card, you're like, okay, that's cool. But to diehard fans, if it's part of like obviously an older series or something like that, it's worth something. So, like I said with in terms of this with the NFL, I'm going into it, and I do believe that I'll get something good out of it. And if I don't, well, you know what? It was a great experience.
Absolutely. So, Igor, would you consider yourself more of a trader, investor, or both? And the distinction I'm drawing between a trader is someone who just buys and flips stuff right away, and the investor is like, I'm holding some stuff like 10, 20 years. Where would you fall in that boat?
I am far more of a trader than an investor, because I am trying to flip as many things as possible. There's only a few things that I believe I would hold for a long time if it was worth my while. For example, I have this. This is from Playline. It's a company owned by former UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping, and it's signed by him. So I'm gonna hold this for decades.
Get
So
that framed and protected then.
Yeah, I took it out because I didn't want a glare to happen.
Mhm.
But long story short, when Playline first started, they had a contest. It was like guess the combined number of strikes in this fight, who the winner will be in what round. And I guessed everything correct, and I was off by 1 strike. And I ended up getting a message from the admin saying, like, that's a ridiculously good bet to make. Even though you didn't win, we'd like to show our appreciation. And they sent me this. And they sent me an invite, me plus a guest, to go to the Toronto. I forget where it was. They had it was like a huge sports thing, and they were one of the booths. And I thought this was amazing. So this is something that I'm going to hold for a long time, because I consider it possibly one of one. We'll find out. Plus, I like Bisping. So, yeah.
And it has a lot of personal value, right? That you just said, right? You've won this, you had to compete in a contest, and this is how you got it. So you're not going to let this go easily, even though.
No. Listen, like, Bisping's the first ever British, first ever English UFC champion. And, he's got the distinction of being one of the few fighters to ever become champion who always tested clean. And in sport, that's huge. So if I ever put this online and somebody from the UK wants to send me give me a fat offer, I'll think about it, Shout out to Michael Bisping.
I still don't think you'll part with it, even if someone sent you a ridiculous offer.
Yeah, I mean, like we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, it's fascinating how this NFT card space, NBA Top Shot came out like 2 years ago. No one was really looking at it, but now there's like so much hype and so many other sports are getting involved. Do you see like new trading card games just arising from NFTs that we just don't know of, or because we're, in our 20s and 30s, we just don't realize because we aren't playing these games?
I think they have to be. I mean, like what Andrew said, like with Pogs and what you said with Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards. I don't think people realized 20 years ago how much this would be worth. I do remember there was that one other show, Digimon, in terms of value of its stuff that nobody really talks about it, or maybe they do and I'm just not aware. But I do think something cool will come out, and in 20 years from now, it'll be worth something. I mean, hell, 20-something years ago, people thought MMA was useless. And if you got some sort of memorabilia from a champion who's retired, well, that's amazing. People who ended up buying jerseys of players like Ronaldo and Messi, who are the GOATs 20 years ago, you have that original Barca or Manchester United jersey, you, my friend, are swimming. You are, I applaud you. You got an old Pokemon card. Good for you. So yeah, I do think that's going to happen. I'm just not aware of what. Probably because I'm 32 years old and I have far more things to worry about.
Find out what kids are playing nowadays. That's what I suggest, and buy it.
Honestly, that's pretty good, because like even at the recent NFL halftime show, right? It was geared towards people in their mid-20s to mid-40s. You had Dr. Dre, you had Eminem, you Mary J. Blige. You're artists that were like huge, still are huge, but when we were teenagers, right? Like you said, find out what the kids are loving now. If you grab something good, hold on to it for 20 years.
Absolutely. Andrew, I believe you have a super rare Pokemon card, don't you?
Ooh. Do tell.
I don't know if it's rare. That's a thing. So, okay, the story is that I went to an event at Toys R Us held by Nintendo many years ago. So this was during the days of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, the first iteration of Pokemon. And
Right.
at the time, the only way you can get a Mew, so I don't know if you guys remember what a Mew is.
Oh,
It was,
yeah.
I think, number 151. The only way you could get it was through Game Shark, which I believe means that the code for the Mew was in the game. It was just not readily accessible. So the Game Shark kind of like cracks it. But they did later find out that in the game, there was a way to like an exploit in the game without Game Shark to get the Mew. Anyways, that's besides the point. So before the Mew was readily available, Nintendo had a thing at Toys R Us where you can go there and you can trade them any Pokemon for a Mew. So I traded a Magikarp for a Mew. And
Classic.
Yeah, and then but they're also giving away like a promo card. So it looks like a regular Pokemon card. It just has a little black star that says promo, and it was a 151 Mew. And it was a card that you couldn't really buy anywhere else unless you were buying from someone else who got one. So I remember all the kids at school, no one had this thing because no one knew about this Nintendo event. So I had I think I somehow got 3 of the cards. I brought my brother and he grabbed one for me because he was older, he didn't care. I grabbed one, and then I went to another Nintendo person and I grabbed another one. So I had 3 of them. So, but here's what I'm confused about. When I look on eBay, I've seen what looks seemingly like the same card for both thousands of dollars, like $5,000, but also the same card for $5. So there must be something about the serial number or something that I'm not aware of. So I have to dig up the card. I have them somewhere. So I'll have to maybe further examine. Maybe there's a difference between versions or something.
You know what? I think you're correct. Like the initial versions, maybe reprints, or maybe like when they get those PSA ratings, how good of condition they are. The ones that are probably like $5,000 are at least an 8 or above, and the ones who are like $10 are probably like a 3 or 2, maybe. but that's awesome.
I
How
think
does
there are.
one
I
get?
think they are worth money though, based on what he's telling us. Those are very limited. Let's be totally clear.
They are.
Right. But if
And
you just look online though, there's people selling them, not even as an auction. I think I saw some online store just selling them for a few dollars. So they're probably reprints then, I guess. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to.
Well, this is the thing, Andrew, right? If there's like scuffs on the card, like I know PSA is extremely strict with grading. So your card has to be like perfect to get those 9s and 10s,
I
basically.
put them in plastic, like the plastic sleeves, like but the hard ones. So I don't know if those are any worse or anything like that. But I put them in hard sleeves when I first got them, and I haven't touched them ever since. Because I never played with the cards. That's the thing. So I threw them in a box somewhere.
Yeah. I would say when you have some time, bring them to someone who knows about Pokemon. They could be worth, I think, some serious money based on what you're telling us, or they could be worth nothing.
right. So like I just went on what is it? Price charting, and I typed in Mew promo cards from
Yeah,
2002.
I just briefly glimpsed yours there. It looks like it's like the Mew ancient one or something. So mine is the regular one, not the ancient one. Oh no,
Yeah,
mine is that one. Sorry, that's the one I have. Yeah.
yeah.
So what is that worth?
Okay, so some places have some places have something as worth as low as like $20 to like a few $100s, and I think it has to be based on the condition.
Yeah.
Like but that's just off face value what I see here. But yeah, I think it's based on condition, and like you said, those are promo cards. You couldn't get them anywhere else, so smart move by you.
Oh, it's just luck. It was at Toys R Us. I think I just like must have saw an ad in the newspaper or I just showed up or something. I don't know.
Well, you know what I'll tell you, Andrew? Even if it's not worth much now, wait another 10 years. That's all that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sell them for like $100 a piece. That's not
No,
gonna do
no, no,
anything for
no,
me.
no. Like if somebody wants to
They'll
trade you a new car, maybe.
I will find better containers for them though, something a little bit more that keeps it a little bit more pristine. So
Right.
that's what I'll do this summer when I dig them up. I'll vacuum seal them.
Get them graded.
Yeah.
That also might be good because they're not worth a lot right now. If you get them graded, they won't be as harsh when they're worth a lot. I know PSA does that. So when cards go up extremely in value, then they start grading them harsher. So keep that in mind as well.
So how does that work? Do you get a grading certificate that's dated?
So let's say, so these cards, you would put them in a box and ship them off to PSA. You would pay, I think, I forget what the exact fees are. Maybe Igor knows better.
I'll check it out. We'll find out.
Yeah. So you send it off to PSA. They open the box, grade your cards, put them in protective packaging with a grade and ship them back to you.
Oh,
And that's what you do. And then these cards are graded. That grade stays forever. It doesn't change as long as you don't rip it out of the box. But in order to take it out of the box, you need to destroy it. So you need to get it regraded.
so can you is there a PSA location that you can just go in person? Because I'm sure stuff gets lost in the mail these days.
That I'm not aware of. You're gonna have to take a look at that.
Ooh. Okay, so according to the official web page of the PSA card grading, card authentication would start at $100 a card for some, and can go up to as high as $10,000 a card.
Yep.
It says card authentication service. Cards with a declared value of 25 grand. The average cost to grade it would be roughly around $1,200.
There you go. So
Would-
that's why you should send it, Andrew, now.
Yeah, like obviously, like the higher the declared value, the higher the cost. Still though, it's even if you send something that's worth about $500, it could be it costs $25 just to grade one card, aka maybe an hour worth of somebody's wage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into it this summer. I'll probably just do one at a time. I'll start off with one and see how it goes.
Might
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, it's true.
If you have any damaged cards, they're not worth sending to. But if the cards are in pristine condition, definitely send it off.
Yeah,
I'll
for sure.
I'll thoroughly examine them before I'll let you guys know.
Perfect. Yeah.
Could you imagine how many like great cards, trading cards PSA gets? They're grading it, and the guy's like, I want this. I'm so mad.
Have there ever been any instances of fraud at PSA where you don't get
Probably.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just say probably. Ain't nobody perfect, and there's some people who probably don't work there anymore for ridiculous reasons.
there is a way to protect yourself in terms of knowing. Well, actually, no, I guess there isn't, because when you get it back, it's in a container now.
Right.
So
So somebody has
it's
touched it.
so it's somewhere down the line that someone will figure out that it could be a swap card.
But I assume if you send in a car that's worth 100 grand, multiple people are looking at it, because
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like what did I do? Like I was bored one night and I was, looking through the NFL top shot stuff and NBA, just seeing how some other people like do flip. And then for some reason something popped up of people getting buying fraudulent cards, like fraudulent Pokemon cards. Like people have spent like $200,000 on what they thought was a first edition box of Pokemon. Turns out it's fake, right? And so I guess being careful with that is, that's all on you, unless you could work with a professional service.
there is experts in this though. Like I know a guy who buys and sells Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I know him from university, and he was telling me he had like a stack of like Dark Magicians, Gaia the Fierce Knight, and like Blue Eyes White Dragon, all mint. He's like, these will be worth a lot of money. And this was like 2014. No one cared then,
No, yeah,
Now,
no one cared.
yeah.
Yeah, but they will be worth a lot.
Little do I know that guy was sitting on a gold mine. He had, how many copies he had of these? He was getting
That's
them for like $20 a piece then.
Oh my God. Buys it for $20 a piece. Like when we were kids, we're like, yeah, $20, that's great. These
Yeah.
days he flips it for like 5-10 grand.
No more, like 50 grand for some
Oh my
cards.
God. Like the guy's got like 20 of these cards. He flips them for a house.
Easily.
Could you imagine like how would you like to pay? Like line of credit, you just show the guy like 20 Dark Magicians.
I take it.
Yeah. But that's like when companies first started taking crypto as payment. Like the guy who ended up how many bitcoins did he trade for 2 pizzas like 12 years ago?
Oh, Andrew knows this stat. Andrew, was it like 10,000?
It was
Oh,
something like 20 or 30,000 coins for, I think it was like 2 or 3 pizzas. So it was in the tens of thousands of coins for like a few pizzas. So and there were regular pizzas. It wasn't like some kind of like high-end pizza joint. It was just like a local pizza place, right? But at the time it was worth approximately, probably $30 worth of Bitcoin. Now it's worth probably $500 million or
oh my God. Could
10,000
you
Bitcoin? That's probably a billion.
could
yeah.
you imagine being the pizza shop owner who saw the value in that right away and now you're wealthy?
Well, I feel like everyone along that chain probably just sold, right? So like the pizza
Yeah.
place probably just sold it for $30 as well. So it was just part of the economy at the time. But
Like,
the thing is, the guy who had 30,000 bitcoins to drop on some pizza, he probably had a lot more. Or he
yeah,
probably still
yeah,
has
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot more. He's probably a
He
miner
probably
or something. Or
he probably did. Because I think like Reddit used to give out bitcoins if you like do certain things on Reddit, like post this many times or this and that. They just give you bitcoins or a fraction of one as a prize.
I don't know for sure, but I would guess the guy was a miner, because he probably wouldn't change US dollars to Bitcoin than to buy pizza. It's just a waste of time, right? So I'm assuming he's a miner, so he probably had a big stash.
I hope he did.
If you were
Um,
mining back in 2012, you are a multimillionaire at this point.
you're laughing at people from one of your 2 yachts.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's amazing. You know what? That just goes to show what we're talking about. Seeing the value of something early on and holding it even when it doesn't look like it's going to be valuable. 10 years down the line, whoever started early, hey, good for you, congratulations. Right, just like Andrew mentioned with Pogs, who would have known?
Well, and there's a lot of courage, I would say, it takes to invest in something early, right? And
Yeah,
like 10 years ago, investing in Bitcoin, people looked at you like you're crazy. They're like, what are you doing? This is nonsense. We'll never replace. And now if you invest in Bitcoin, I was like, oh yeah. So it really takes courage and I would say guts to actually, commit and actually invest some of your money, because you might not see a return. people might criticize you for it, but you have to have the mental frame to actually be able to resist that and accept that people just don't understand it. It's not that they're coming from a place of malice, they're coming from a place of a lack of knowledge of what you've obtained.
There was this comedian, he does these like rants on YouTube, and I think he used to have a TV show, but they canceled it. And he was talking about how much debt he has because he maxed out all his credit cards and bought Bitcoin with it years and years ago, and how he just pays the bare minimum, and he was giving you tips on how to pay the bare minimum. So I think that guy is a visionary.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what we do with student loans. You pay the bare minimum.
Let inflation kill the value of the student loans.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think he said he took out like $15,000 on his credit card and or line of credit, and he was paying back like, I think he talked them down to paying like $10 a month as a payment. And he bought Bitcoin.
Yeah, like he has nothing physically tangible to give away as collateral.
And they can't take away his Bitcoin. The bankruptcy court, what are they gonna do?
Please guess my bit address.
So he says when the creditors call you, just give them a sob story and then lowball them. I think he said he can afford to pay them $5 a month, and they settled at like 20.
Yeah, that's what we do with student loans. Keep your crypto.
So how we talked about grading physical cards? Is there any way that we can grade the condition of digital cards? I don't think that's possible, right? So is there going to be a grading system besides the numeric number, like you said? Is that like the new grading system?
Why would grading make sense?
I think that would be it. I think that would be it. I don't think they're going to do the thing where like, oh, how many previous owners has this moment run through? But then again, that can also give it value if you buy and sell. So I think it will be based on low serial numbers, athletes or moments who are retired or considered legends or this or that. I think that's how they're going to do it.
That's fascinating. So Igor, you did mention that this wallet. So how would you go about setting up this wallet for anyone who doesn't know? I think that's important because a lot of sports fans are not necessarily crypto enthusiasts as well.
Yeah, true. How I did it is, let's say I go to NFLalldday.com. You said like you go to like sign up. Now it says like log in or register. You can log in with your Google account if you have one already. If you don't, you just make one right then and there. And if you don't have a Dapper wallet, they say, okay, to buy and sell moments and packs, you have to sign up for a Dapper wallet, and they make you sign up for one. Now I think the kind of crypto they use is USD coin. It's tied directly, I think, to the US dollar. Obviously they don't want their value to drop if something bad happens. It's fairly straightforward, like you would do with any other even like, I don't know, when you do a subscription service to something monthly. Very straightforward. Don't forget your password. My suggestion.
So how walk me through the process. So let's say I have $100 in my bank account. How would I buy those packs?
Okay. So you set up your account, and like Dapper and any other system like that allows you to click put in money from my bank account. So you would put in obviously your debit card number and this and that, and essentially it's like a payment, right?
So this is not blocked, right? You know how on Coinbase and like other exchanges you're not allowed to use your credit cards? Can you use your credit card for this?
I used my debit Visa originally. I never used my credit card like a Visa. I just used my debit Visa. So I'm not sure on that end, but I would imagine, based on the fact that these companies, NFL, NBA, UFC, so on and so forth, they're reputable names, I would imagine that credit cards would be allowed.
Perfect. And so when I sell on this marketplace, I get paid in USD coin, right? So I would need to go to an exchange and then exchange it for US dollars or Canadian dollars, right?
Right. What what NBA Top Shot started doing is, instead of buying and selling for like USD coin on Dapper, they allow you to connect your Ethereum wallet now, if you would like. So they do the exchange electronically right then and there.
Is there a way? I know this is done in other cryptocurrencies. Is there a way to loan these cards to other people, maybe? Like to make money that way? So you're not giving it to them, you're temporarily giving it to them.
You can, like on NBA Top Shot, you can gift moments. So my friend Dusan and Marco, I gifted them a few moments before. They weren't worth very much, but I suppose if you want to make a business deal, hey, I'll gift you these, and you will sell them, and we'll make 50-50 if somebody's a better seller than you, right? Because you don't pay a penalty of any transaction fee if you gift somebody a moment on the network. Meanwhile, when you sell something, you do obviously like pay, I don't know, like was it like 1%, 2%?
So that's a way. You hear
Yeah.
that, everyone? If you know someone and want to sell it to them, gift it to them, and then they can send you the money after, if you trust them, of course.
Yeah, if you trust them, of course, right? Yeah, exactly. That's the way that I found out, and that's what me and Dushan did. He was doing a certain challenge, and he didn't have, I think, 3 out of the 10 moments. He had 7. And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to buy these." So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna gift you all the ones that I have." And obviously, when you complete the challenge, you get a special NFT. I was like, "You sell that one for whatever you sell it for. Since I give you 30% of what you needed, you just give me 30% of the value." You know?
That's nice. What rewards do you get? So what are challenges and what rewards do you get for completing this stuff?
So when it comes to challenges, for example, NBA Top Shot will post something around the lines of create a showcase. So like that's what it really is. Like you could take your moments and like build a showcase, like a special room, and the system automatically recognizes it, of the top 7 players, top 7 scoring players of this week, right? And NBA Top Shot will already have it input recognized. And if you do that, you get a prize. Your prize would be an NFT, which you can't get in a pack otherwise. So it's way more rare. It's like a collectible, like what Andrew said with the promo Mew cards. There's only certain ways you could do it. So that you could keep it or you could sell it. Obviously, I mean, you want to make money, so you sell it. That's basically it.
Is there any non-tradable cards?
As it stands, no, not that I'm aware of. Like I know when like trading card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering, like when it comes to tournaments, you're not allowed to play certain cards. They're just too overpowered. They just allow you to win instantaneously, which is defeats the purpose of a competition. So as far as I know, there aren't any that aren't tradable.
Okay, that's very good. So last question then, Igor. If people want to learn more about this, where they can learn and how can they come in contact with you? What's your social media like?
Oh, very good question. How I learned, obviously, if you have a friend who did it before, that's the easiest way because you tend to trust that person. And for me, it paid off because I love Dushan, my guy. But you know what? The magic of YouTube, because there are reputable channels you could find on there who will guide you through it. Now, for my social media, my Instagram is at Igor.Dzaic, and my Facebook is Igor Dzaic. I have no Twitter. I'm mostly active on Instagram. That's about it. I don't have a YouTube channel or anything like that. Maybe one day.
Are you open if people reach out to you for any questions?
Yeah, of course, by all means, reach out. I like to talk to people. I like to share ideas. I think we as individuals only grow when we can share ideas with people perhaps we haven't met before. Of course, I'm open to it. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Igor, for coming on. It was a pleasure. The fashion showing is in the metaverse is happening next month. Me and Andrew are covering it.
Right.
So
That's right. I almost forgot about that.
So as far as I know, Decentraland is still not virtual reality ready, correct?
No.
Okay, so everyone can participate. Everyone can just log in. I think you can make an account or enter as a guest, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, just do it right through your browser.
Perfect. Yeah, that's something I look forward to that because I think that's cool. It's novel, right?
Okay, you're welcome to join us. We'll send you a link.
I am gonna join. Of course,
Perfect.
So I'm thinking we'll have maybe we'll share our screens, Dalibor and I, and then we'll get our. You'll see us in the maybe like our video feed in the corner, but
That's
primarily
awesome.
you'll be seeing us navigating through Decentraland and what we're doing, kind of like a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
It'll be a lot of fun.
I like it. I think that's very cool. Let's do it.
Perfect.
And then maybe we'll go into Decentraland maybe half an hour early, just do a little bit of exploring. I've gone around a little bit, but not enough. So maybe we'll check some stuff out.
Maybe buy some real estate. Not.
Yeah. Well, how much was it the last time you're looking?
Oh God,
Tens of thousands of views.
it was basically like buying in real life. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So that's a very expensive virtual storefront for some people.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Crazy stuff happening. We'll be covering it all. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I think so too.
All right. Thank you again, Igor, for joining us. It was a pleasure. We'll see you at the fashion show next time.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.